guys. So today is the 4th of November. I feel so relieved. When I say I feel relieved, I feel relieved. Um, Better than I did the day before. That's why I said um, what I said about the environment. So today I'm going to talk about spiritual robbers, okay? And everyone has them. Doesn't matter what belief you believe in. Doesn't matter if you are what color you are. It does not matter. Okay. Um, s- Energy is so real. Some people will try to dampen that. They will try to take that from you. Okay. You have to be careful. You have to be careful over who you are telling your blessings to, because you will see a wedge sometimes come over you. And this happened to me. Okay. Okay. So prime example. I was telling you guys about when I told you guys yesterday in my other video about how I felt. It felt like a whole spirit of like gloom. And I will tell you this: every time I have a feeling similar to that, this one was a little bit tougher than I experienced before. But every time I have that, if I keep pressing on, something great happens. Like something great happens. And I'm not talking about like financial, I'm talking about like sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's, but for the most part, it's spiritual. It's like a sense of knowing, and I always come through some kind of physical or financial breakthrough later. And so, um, yeah, I ended up telling, yeah, I told y'all yeah, the other day I felt like it was like a spirit of, you know what, the big D or the big S going around. And I'm like, I know this was nothing inside of me. You know, some people will have that. They'll have that for a minute and don't know why. And so, um, I just, kept praying, counseling it out, and accepting the opposite of that. You know, God says that you have life and life more abundantly, right? Cool, right? Um, I'm telling y'all, soon as the day, soon as that was over and I started counseling that, I started feeling a little bit better. Not only that, um, not only that, uh, I began, I began to feel, I began to feel a little bit, uh, how would I say it? Cold. I was beginning to feel a little fuller back to myself. Um, I also told my relatives, some of my relatives, what I was doing. Wrong move. Wrong move, okay? Um, and I didn't, it wasn't like a something, I didn't tell them the deep details, but I did tell them how much I made progress, you know? And I'm telling you, be careful. Sometimes it's not always the people that you tell that's going up against you. But sometimes it is. If they have a negative mindset, understand it'll happen. Understand it'll happen. Sometimes it'll happen and they don't even know it. That that is, them doing it. And so, girl, what is you doing? My dog is everywhere. Um. So yeah, I ended up telling them what was going on, and I want to say the next couple of days, I had so much intensity, I couldn't focus. I could not do a thing. When I say I couldn't do a thing, I could not do a thing. This is how I know that spiritual robber stuff is true. Okay? I would literally come inside of my house. I would come inside of my house and I would begin to I will begin to get up and, um, try to do my work, try to do some things. Y'all, I could not focus. It would feel like I would have to automatically lay down. I would automatically have to get like knocked out. Like this was just, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I was sleepy. It was literally being forced. Okay. This didn't come better. I mean, this didn't get better by me just, this didn't get better by just me, praying. Sometimes it got better when I got up and I moved out of that area. I got up out of my house, y'all. I got up out of my house. As soon as I got up out of my house, as soon, I ain't talking about before, after, none of that. As soon as I got up out of my house, things got better for me. Okay, when I say things got better. I was able to focus. I was able to complete the simple task. It wasn't like I was tired, but every time I would come into the space, I would have to lay down on a couch. Stuff that I wouldn't even want to do. Stuff that I would not want to do. I even invited, because I really don't invite a lot of people over my house. I don't even have that many people that well, yes, I do, but I have very close knit circles. So a lot of people are not going to my house. We can go somewhere and have some kind of meeting, but other than that, no. And so, um, yeah, yeah. Other than that, no. Um, and so I had them at my house, and I was going about my business. They're like, "Girl, what is going on?" Like every time you would go in this spot, it's almost like your mind has set, like this is where it has been conditioned that this is what you do at this time. And I'm like, I can't even bring it out to you. Like, and she's like, move the couch. She's like, move the things around. See if that's gonna change. And I did that, but I kid you not. It was like in certain spots, it was the same way. And I know a lot of y'all gonna try to say, oh, that's feng shui. No, baby, that wasn't it, because it was in the house. Okay, it was in the house. Um, and so I when I left, I was like, okay, God was just telling me, like, when I went to school to pray, and He started showing me things, man, that you can't believe. Like, you can't even explain to people sometimes, because a lot of people don't want to know who God is. They just want to be followers. Some of these people, they never want to grow. They just want to be followers. That's all they do is follow, 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 follow. Then when the things don't go through, they want to run back. They want to run back and then ask God for help, then come back and then run, like, and they don't understand and learn, like, okay, this is the best option, so I need to do the hard stuff first, so what I think is hard, in order to get something better, okay? And so, uh, whew, thank you, Jesus. So yeah, I started seeing that, and I started praying, and it started showing me exactly what was going on. When I prayed right against that, I'm telling you, everything started breaking off. Everything started breaking off. Every crazy yoke that was around me. It wasn't no medication, no none of that. Okay? When I went to the therapist and all that other stuff, and they kept saying, you're suffering from grief and all the stuff that's dying around you. You have to be changed to a new person, because that's a lot of pain that you went through. You should have went nuts. And they wanted to give me medication for it. I'm like, nah, I'm not taking medication. If it's pain, and it's a process, you tell me what happened, then I'm sure if my body can heal from it, my spiritual and everything else can heal from it, because everything happens spiritually first. It's just gonna take some time, you know. So yeah, but as soon as I prayed against it, prayed for it, prayed for covering, prayed for protection, guess what? It started coming together. It started coming together. Um, Another thing is, y'all, you gotta listen to people too, because the enemy, when he send people, he be on assignment for real. I started thinking about this morning about this person that I began talking to that I hadn't seen. It's a different person that I hadn't seen in a good minute. But the reason why the disconnection happened, it was for a valid purpose. It was I was growing. I knew that this person wasn't growing with me, you know? And not only that, it was a lot of for me it wasn't growing for me because there was a lot of integrity issues. Some people, ooh, uh, integrity issues. And so I'll leave it at that. And when you're growing and God is defining your character, you're gonna start making wiser decisions. Okay, you're gonna start making different decisions than what you do, and the things that average person would normally be like, okay, I'm okay with it. You're gonna be like, it's gonna be something inside of you. Well, it's gonna be the Holy Spirit. It's gonna be inside of you, and you're gonna be like, I can't get with it. I cannot get with this. Like it used to be okay with me, but now I understand it. It's something in there. So no, And so that's basically what I was having. I was having, y'all. I was having these like it was just a whole conversion of my life. I couldn't settle for things that was comfortable for me in my teens and 20s. I couldn't grasp it. And this person was down with it because there was more of an advantage. There was more of an advantage. Be careful of those people. Be careful of people who know you more than you know yourself. I used to say, well, be around these people, but if you're not on the journey of learning yourself, you ain't gonna break free. It is some benefits. I ain't even gonna lie. It is some benefits from learning yourself and somebody else know you better. It sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Especially when you stick with God. Sometimes it is. Um, but yeah. Learn yourself. Learn yourself better. Learn yourself as much as you can. And so, um, yeah, I separated from this person. This person was definitely trying to contact me. And that was another person that, God led a conviction of me just like letting go. It was like, have y'all ever been around somebody that y'all not really into, but it's like you have to be around them? Like, I've had that happen to me. Quite, quite a bit. And it was like, what the heck? Like, people that you wouldn't even, you'll be like, okay, they was cool. They was okay. And you're like, I don't really care. Not I don't care for them, but it's not a big deal if they walk out of my life kind of thing. You know? Not on a hurtful matter or anything like that. But then all of a sudden you just cannot, and you know that they're into you, that you know that they want something from you. You know that. And they cannot, like, but they want they want what they want. And then all of a sudden you see yourself going, you have a little bit of time with them, and all of a sudden you end up going like, woo, like almost like it's a obsession to the point it's like dwindling. Like, I've had that happen to me. And I literally had to pray because it was weird. It was different, okay? It was different. And yeah, God showed me some things about that, and I was like, okay, let me get some time away from that. And my life, it was tough. I'm going to tell you this, because I literally, this is what I literally saw with this person. And this person is like from a different country. I'm telling y'all this because it has meaning. This person, and I don't want people to get too nervous about that either, because everybody from, y'all know I got family members from different countries. Look at me. I don't want people to just assume, because that's not always the truth, that this happens to to everybody. But this person, every time would try to get something, some clothing of mine, like wanted to be around toothbrush, things like this. Like you need to be careful. Be careful, because when I started looking back over certain things, I was like, hmm. They always wanted to get something of mine. They wanted to get something of mine. Okay, and uh, something of mine, and like would not return it. Like you'd be like, I could have sworn you took this. No, I didn't. I saw you take this. Oh, I returned it back. And weird stuff started happening. Or now you got to be around this person 24/7. My personality is not even like y'all. Personality is not really much like that. So I started, you know, taking into account of that. I was led to pray. I was led to fast. I was led to just give that some time. Not even to confront it. Well, I did have to confront it, but I had to confront it by not a physical confront, but spiritually. You know, through words and things like that. And like I said, I started feeling better. The reason why I'm telling y'all this is because, man, the enemy will send any, anybody, any environment. Sometimes you'll be led to, oh, how did my eyes get so bugged right there? What did I seriously? Sometimes you'll be led to do and to go into places where the enemy resides, where he literally resides. And the one thing about it is that when you don't learn yourself, understand something. Somebody does. The enemy does. I ain't gonna say that he knows everything, but patterns. Listen, it matters. It matters. Okay? It matters. So, um, excuse me. Keep that in mind. There are people who are literally on assignment. And the people who don't believe that, they're in la la land and they think, because a lot of people will try to act as if they don't know. Some people do know that they're on assignment, but they can't tell you that because you're gonna know what it is and you're gonna be ready to bolster up and to get down. Somebody who's gonna rob somebody, they ain't gonna never tell them what they doing. They gonna never tell them uh they ain't gonna never tell them, people what's up or anything like that. They sneak in. They wait till your guard is down because it's easier. But I'll tell you this, there are people who are spiritually waiting to take everything from you. Shoot, there's people who physically want to take the physical things. Stuff that you be like, dang, you want this? You want this? I remember somebody tried to take I had an old Buick. I used to love that Buick. Got me to different places, but the battery went down or something like that, and I was just looking at it, and I'm looking and I'm noticing, I'm like, I had parked it in a parking garage, and somebody was trying to hot wire in it and take it. I'm like, you want this? Like, this was a whole struggle. Like, I love the car, but dang, you wanna take this? That's just how people are spiritually. They want to listen. There are people, and not. Well, I ain't even gonna get deep into that, but there are all. I'll say, because we're an entity. There are entities. Okay, they some of these people you see don't don't um are not flowing the same way that you're flowing. I'll say that. I gotta be careful with my words. They are not flowing the same way that you are flowing, and they can see it. See, you might not see it, but the enemy in that camp, they see it. Sometimes they can notice it from patterns. They can notice it from patterns before it even kick on off. So, yeah, be careful of these people who are spiritually trying to take things from you. You can cover yourself from somebody who's physically doing it. You once you see it, you're like, okay, this is what they own. They ain't coming to my house. They ain't coming around me. Things like that. But if it's spiritual, sometimes you looking on the outside, you thinking this person being very nice and being very kind and being very helpful to you is a way for you to get up. But no, sometimes it's for you to get trapped. Sometimes it's for you to get trapped. Um, Another instance of this is that I had a oh goodness, excuse me. I had a no, no, honey. Mm-mm. Come on. Another issue. Another issue with that's okay. Another issue you have with people who are being spiritual robbers. Uh, I don't even know who she's waiting on because nobody comes right here because the thing is cut off. Is that come on, let's go. Another thing is that they have to get close to you. They have to have, in order to take something from you, they gotta get close to you. So unlike somebody who's physically trying to rob you, what they would do is try to peer. They will peer through things. They will camouflage. They will send other people, because they want to hide their hands. They want to hide their filthy hands, you know, um, from what they did. They want to hide their filthy hands from what they did, so they can physically send somebody to do, get intel, information on you, tap in closer so they can plan something, or come on, they can do a lot of things. They can do a lot of things. Uh, yeah, so you have to be mindful when you're dealing with people like that. You have to literally, I say, you know, watch out, pray. I don't want people to go, I deal with things spiritual first, and people will get you. That's another way that they try to throw you off guard is to try to downplay the spiritual. They can listen. Anybody who talking about they talking about their energy and all this other stuff, and they downplaying praying, and they downplaying fasting, and they downplaying everything else, but you see them always talking about something esoteric or something uh, on the spiritual side. Understand they want you to be weakened, cause they ain't stopping. They ain't stopping. Um, but like I said, these people they gonna send other people, and then they take that little what they have and try to do the most. One of the things that I learned when I was a very young girl, and people were like, "Bill, you play too doggone much." Yeah, you gotta test everybody around you. I learned that. I learned that very well because I used to have people. I used to have parents of people who used to be so mean to me. They would ask me what was I doing, and I'll be doing a project, and I'll be doing great, and all of a sudden they done sign their kids up to do the same thing that I'm doing. They'll act like they're gonna help me. They'll act like they'll help me on the project, and then they'll have their kids doing the same thing and copying all the information that I had. And because a lot of them parents had money, and a lot of those teachers were all into them, especially if they were Greek, and that kind of lifestyle, because a lot of my teachers were too. Um, they would get rewarded, and I would be like, they would be like, oh, well, you copying this person, or you doing this, and you doing that, but and I didn't have a leg to stand on. I learned how to do that because I'd be like, no, you trying to play me, like no. So I would literally, and people like, oh, you need to be honest. Bull crap, the bull crap. Okay, you don't feed your pearl to swine. What the heck is he doing? Yeah, you don't feed your pearl to swine. And when I say that, I mean exactly that. When you're dealing with a spiritual robber, and I know y'all like, well, that's physical. No, that's spiritual. Because they taking your intelligence. They're using what you have. They'll try to play as if They know what they're doing, and because they're, giving off this certain stuff, or they have this qualification, like being around them is such a great, is a bigger deal than your mind. If that was the case, then they wouldn't need you around. If that was the case, they wouldn't need you around. Y'all, get real. Get real. And they would do that. They would do that time after time after time after time again. And guess what? When I got smarter and I would tell them the total opposite and they would go one way, baby, look at how I saw it. They'd be pissed off. And at that point, I don't care, because I was pissed off when you was doing all that crazy stuff to me. you know, um, and they would go at it. Some of these people will try to attack you because you do that too. Come on. Come on. Because you're doing that too. And you have to, come on. You have to get ready for that. Get ready. Get ready for stuff like that. Okay? Huh. Get ready for stuff like that. Um, shoot. And yeah, so that's what I had to deal with. Spiritual robbers. Keep those people away from you. Once I started praying, things started getting better. Once I started isolating, things got better. You will be surprised that half of the stuff that you go through, half of the things, I noticed that even when I was younger, half of the things that I went through in my life was not my issues. And I did have a couple of issues because I was always sick as a kid. Like, but always, I was always sick. Um, but half of the things that I went through was not my issues, was not my problems. Okay? Being a person that has a lot of empathy, um, you have to be okay with learning that boundary system and learning it and separating. Oh shoot, separating from it. But yeah, that's what I had to do with spiritual robbers. Stay careful of these people. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Separate from them. I don't care who it is. Some of these people are no good. When I say no good, they no good. They no good. But you don't want them. You don't want their devices to win by not following orders. Not, you know, yeah, but not being productive and not following orders. Um, yeah, I think that is. Oh shoot. I think that is about it. Come on. I think that is about it on spiritual robbers. I don't want to hold y'all too long, but come on, girl, you can't stop in the middle of the street. That's why I take her out in the middle in the early morning. We just got up a little bit late. Let's go. But yeah, you can't let people who are spiritual robbers. I'd rather have a physical. Well, I wouldn't rather have none. But if I had to choose, I would rather have a physical robber that want to take some physical things than to have someone that takes something spiritual. Because you feel like a piece is gone, and sometimes you don't even know what they took if you haven't been taking if you haven't been taking accountability for the space and for if you haven't been taking accountability of what you have spiritually, if you haven't been guarding yourself spiritually. Everybody want to tame what's in the physical, but lack the spiritual, and then they be all lost and torn away. But when you get that spiritual, man, you can walk through some things. You can look. I've seen it for myself. I walk through some crazy dangers and be as calm as a cucumber, like cool and calm as a cucumber, like just peaceful, and that's what you want to be. in your walk. You want to get more defined spiritually. To say when you see something that looks even remotely chaotic, you can say, that sounds good, but I don't want no parts of it. This sound all right. I don't want no parts in it. Okay, that's what you wanna. That's what you wanna get into. That's what you wanna um, deal with. So, uh-oh. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna get up off of here because I need to deal with my dog. I probably a videotape a little bit later today, but like I said, it's a lot of stuff that I have to deal with, and I also am trying to get ready for the digital surge. I don't know why people think like all this information is gonna be out here forever. That's foolish. That's foolish. So, trying to get ready for the digital surge, and yeah. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna get off of here. Hopefully, something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned. Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.